How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Little coffee-based, bourbon barrel-aged, hopeful Canadian goodness in the form of Nickle Brewing Café del Bastardo. Love saying that. I don't know why. Café del Bastardo. It is a bourbon barrel-aged beer with coffee beans. That's at least what it says on there. Listen, Nickle Brook. I've done quite a few of their reviews. They are a Canadian brewery. You can actually find some of their beers in the States now. New York gets them. Actually, PA gets them. A couple places get them here and there. They make pretty damn good stuff. And from their canned offerings to their big bourbon barrel-aged stuff. One of their bigger beers, a non-barrel-aged, is their Bolshevik Bastard. It's a Russian Imperial Stout. Fantastic fucking name. And then they barrel-aged that. And there's, I've reviewed the barrel-aged variants of them. Not all of them. I think there's a couple kooky ones, but the main ones are Winey Bastard, which is a wine barrel-aged one. And then they do a Kentucky Bourbon barrel-aged one. Kentucky Bastard. This is the Kentucky Bastard with coffee beans. Hence, Café del Bastardo. Let's dive into this fucker because I'm super excited to give it a whirl. Oh, sent to me. Jacob, thank you very much, motherfucker. Because this shit, I've been wanting to try for a while. So, let's dive into it. As far as what it says on the bottle itself, it says Nickle Brook Café del Bastardo. Small batch release, bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout on coffee beans. Ingredients, Nickle Brook, Miracles of Science, malts. Let's see. They list ingredients, might as well read them. Brewer's Elements, malt. Pale chocolate, dark chocolate, roasted barley, Cafaro special, 3 chocolate wheat, crystal, flaked barley, flaked wheat, flaked oats, hops, German Magnum Nugget, Centennial, yeast, dry English, barrels, Heaven Hill, and coffee beans. Café del Bastardo is the culmination of our friendship with Tampa Coffee Company and our love of barrel-aged Imperial Stout. And a fusion of all coffee beans into our Kentucky Bastard barrels brings a new member to the Bastard family. This intensely aromatic beer displays bright coffee, bourbon, vanilla, and malty chocolate coffee notes, followed by warming alcohol. That'd be that. 14.5% alcohol by volume. I did not read that before I was going to open it, so buckle up. It's about to get rocky. That'd be that. Label-wise, it's awesome. I love it. Love Nickle Brook's labels. You know, from the label design to being pretty nondescript. You know, this kind of, brown and white lettering and their little kind of molecule thing up here to the wax. The wax. Let's dig through this wax. Nickle Brook does an odd thing. They actually put out a bunch of videos saying how to open wax bottled beers. Their wax tends to be pretty thick, so I assume that's why maybe somebody got hurt. I don't fucking know. But they actually do the thing that I think you shouldn't do with wax bottles, which is run it under hot water. They say, run it under hot water, get it soft, and from there you can cut it and get it off easily. I don't agree with that. I think running under hot water, you're basically shocking the beer, I think. You're kind of exposing it to high temperatures. Is it for a long period of time? No. Is it going to matter in the long run? I don't know, but something about just running hot water over my beer right before I'm going to drink it kind of bothers me. So, Nickle Brook, not a fan of that process. Just be, just be for real. You know what I mean? Just do like everybody else does. Struggle with the wax, because it's kind of like, how do I put it? There's that old adage, the journey's half the fun. It's kind of like that, you want to get in here, you want to drink this beer, it's going to be delicious, or you hope it's going to be delicious, and, if you just pop it off and taste it right away, who the fuck wants that? A little bit of time, a little bit of patience, work that wax like you mean it. The reward is yours. So, let's, go, fuck. So, apparently, they're passing off motor oil for beer at this point. That it'd be dark. I mean, we talk about beers being dark all the time. That is dark. That's like, what I mean? That's, before Wesley Snipes, That is, Charlie Murphy level. That sucker is dark as dark could be. Gravity-defying creaminess, infinitely tight, compact bubbles. And, you couldn't get light through this thing if you tried. Let's put it that way, So, guess what? It's dark. That head is just rich, deep. What I like my coffee to look like color. A little bit probably darker than that, but close. See if we can get a nose on her. Give me the vapors. Oh. Wow, this is huge. This is such a gigantic nose, it's not even fucking funny. Yeah. The first thing that pops off to me is barrel char. I get a lot of smoky kind of woodiness from this. Smoky woodiness. Beautiful barrel char. Seems it's going to be a bit smoky, a bit charry. Then there's equal parts kind of soft, semi-sweet chocolates and coffee. Very kind of, coffee chocolate macchiato-ish, rather than just straight up coffee. I don't think the coffee infused in it is cold pressed or anything like that. I actually just think it's straight up coffee bean. I think there's a bitterness to the coffee, but I think there's enough sweetness, especially being barrel aged, that it kind of just bounces off that. The bourbon comes up last for me, not in a negative way though. These are all tiers, and they're not like one's not out of whack. Let's put it that way. The bourbon is there. You got to really huff on it, but you get this nice sweet cherried bourbon on it. It's nothing too crazy though. There's not much heat to it. Yeah, and the beer's still there. I'm getting a nice sweet kind of roasted malt from the beer, so it's definitely a tiered beer. There, that coffee in chocolate, like I said, is just below that kind of barrel char for me. Then after that is kind of like the beer and the bourbon. They're all there, but very minute steps. But it's nice. Not everything has to be super rounded, super balanced. Time will do that to this beer, most definitely. But as it sits right now, it smells super robust, super frickin' decadent. I could huff this all night long. But I'm not going to, because I want to taste it. Because hopefully it tastes as good as it smells. Cheers. That's good stuff. I've always been a huge fan of Kentucky Bastard from when I've originally had it to different years. Even, I love Bolshevik Bastard, but Kentucky Bastard is for me, one of the best barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stouts I've ever had. Did a couple different years of them, like I said. Even Whiny Bastard's fantastic, even though it can be a little bit explosive. So I assumed this beer was going to be nice. And I assumed it was going to be more than nice. But it's got a little bit past my expectations. Mouthfeel. Absolutely. 100%. Fucking filth-lorn filth. Beautiful pornographic. Silky, creamy, smooth density. It's like the most dense porter you've ever had. And I use that, I use that in the most positive light possible. It has that kind of Imperial Stout, Russian Imperial Stout density to it, but almost every bubble is like a microscopic, or the whole fluid is microscopic bubbles, as opposed to being just a liquid. So it gives this nice kind of like micro effervescence. There's a fucking word for you, or a phrase, or whatever. That for me kind of carries more flavor. That char is delicious. It's not as big as I thought it was going to be. But it's exactly where I wanted it to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger. And that coffee and the roasted malts bounce off each other perfectly. The bittering from the roasted malts, bittering from the coffee. It just makes sense. And they're equal, kind of, they're married. And they just kind of play off each other with a nice kind of like, I don't know how to, it's like the same, it's like cousins from another mother kind of thing going on. Where, a lot of times with roasted malts done in a certain way in a beer, you get a lot of coffee-like notes. And a lot of times I'll even do like blind reviews. I'd be like, I feel like there's coffee in this and there isn't. it's kind of like bridging that gap between the malt and the coffee to where it's like, okay, I feel like there's coffee in here with the roasted malt, and they're like, oh wait, there actually is fucking coffee. So it's got this nice smooth bridge between both ends. It's got a decent bitterness to all of it, but the bourbon, which is not huge, but is there, and is definitely not super boozy, but more of a sweeter kind of reduced down kind of cherry kind of bourbon, just brings just enough sweetness to make it perfectly balanced. This beer is sweet, and this beer is bitter, but perceptionally, it's neither. It makes sense on all ends. So, really cool mouthfeel that's not super viscosity dense, more of like a dense kind of weird fluffy porter, combined with beautiful roasted malts and coffee that marry together in a bourbon that kind of fucking balances it all out. That makes it all work. It's the straw that stirs the drink, I guess you'd say. Nose is fantastic. The taste is different enough to where you get kind of different sensory experiences. It doesn't suck. Yeah, absolutely delicious beer. Balanced, delicious, easy to fucking drink, pushing 15%. Fucking Nickle, Brook. Man, this is the shit. This is the shit I get angry at that's not close to me and that I know is readily available. This is like shelfy stuff that you pick up in Canada. And we're down here in the United States fucking going ape shit. Anyway, let's talk about it. This is one of the better barrel-aged stouts. Let's just go there. Coffee barrel-aged stouts. Go coffee. Barrel-aged stouts that I've had as of late. Yes. One of the best, if not the best, that I've had as of late. I will take this over, you know what I mean, KBS. I will take this over, Bourbon County Coffee. I will take this over High Westified. I will take this over all the ones that are lately that I've had that really have done it for me. Value availability. I don't know. It was sent to me. But based off of experience, this is a beer that usually runs anywhere from between typically $12 to $16 Canadian. Okay? Canadian. So you're talking about, it's probably that's like $5 American. No. It's probably pushing, I'm joking about the $5 part, but it's probably getting close to $10 American. That's fucking crazy talk. And just say if you like, what will you like this? If you like good beer. If you like coffee beers, if you like bourbon barrel-aged coffee beers, if you like the beers that I mentioned. I Westified, one of my favorite beers from Lagunitas. The price point on that is crazy. This is kind of similar price point-wise. If you like KBS, if you like Bourbon County Coffee, if you like coffee bourbon barrel-aged beers, and you like them to be impactful yet balanced, it's absolutely worth picking up. Like I said, I don't know if this makes it to the States, but you can find it in the States. I think Michigan gets some. I think Ohio gets it. Upstate New York. I know Pennsylvania gets drips and drabs. So if you can find it there, if not, buddy up with somebody from Canada. They're good people. It's America's hat. What do you want me to say? You know what I mean? It is by far and away one of my favorite coffee stouts that I've ever had. And I don't put that shit lightly, so there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you want to talk about it, down there, words and stuff. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, Massive Beers. All four of those places if you want to check me out anywhere else. And there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice bourbon barrel aged coffee stout right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.